Hi, so Katie here. Hope everybody is well. Good news. I think I know when my jaw surgery is going to be. So I've got a consultation with the surgeon next month, and then I've got a appointment with the orthodontist in July. So I reckon it's going to be August. So yay! Fingers crossed. So that will be good because that's, as you know, it's one of my main bugbears is my chin. So, or lack thereof. So that's going to be really good. That's something positive to keep me going. Apart from that, I've been a little bit down in the dumps. I've been upset about stuff that's been going on, which I won't go into at the moment, but it's got to the extent where I've actually made an appointment to speak to my GP and hopefully get some anti-anxiety medications. So I've never had anti-anxiety medications before, so I don't quite know what to expect, but I'm not sleeping very well at night. I haven't been too bad this week. I actually got 8 hours in the one night during the week, and then I got 7 hours in the next night, and I've had about 6 the last 2 nights, so that's not too bad. But like over bank holiday weekend I was quite distressed to the point where I felt quite dizzy and unwell, and I thought I've got to do something about this. So hopefully I should be feeling better. It's not going to be until the end of the month I have the actual consultation, because the GP surgery was really busy. So but anyway, I didn't want to go down that route of medications, so we'll see anyway, just to help me over this difficult period that I'm going through. I think it will help, so long as I'm able to come off them when I'm feeling better and when things have improved. So, I mean, next week is, actually, almost when this goes out, it'll be this week in the UK, May the 8th. The week commencing May the 8th is Mental Health Week. So, I thought that's quite a good time to bring that up now. And also maybe to kind of like give a mention about my gerascophobia, which is one of the reasons why I'm feeling down. But there are other reasons as well. Like a lot of the reasons that all the stuff that happened to me over the past 2 years, that has its roots in my gerascophobia and how I reacted to having gerascophobia. So basically, if you don't know, I think I've talked about it before on this vlog, gerascophobia is fear of aging. It's kind of a strange kind of title for the condition, really, because the way I experience it, it's more like a dysphoria about aging, a dysphoria about people perceiving me as older, a dysphoria, like looking in the mirror, also perceiving myself as older, looking in the mirror and seeing that. And obviously I look in the mirror for any kind of what I think is a wrinkle or a kind of age-related skin change or bodily change as well. It's a bit ridiculous, but I know that it is serious. It's a serious condition like gender dysphoria. That's the only way, as a trans woman, I would say that this is like kind of gives me as much, if not more, kind of distress and upset and depression as gender dysphoria gave me before I came out and started on HRT. Obviously the gender dysphoria is still with me, but at least with the gender dysphoria, there are things that you can do, and then again though, they won't always kind of make you into like what who you are inside, especially if you transitioned after puberty. Obviously I've got this deep voice now and these broad shoulders and big hands, which I painted my black nail varnish. Not done very good, but but yeah, I went out last Friday, and I went to actually went clubbing. I went in Cardiff. I went to a club called the Fuel Rock Club, and they had a night called Killing Moon, which is like a kind of 1980s, 90s, like sort of alternative goth sort of night, which was good. I enjoyed it actually. Yeah, so so that was quite a novelty for me, and I got a lift home as well, which was great. So that was brilliant. But yeah, like, I mean, I have been depressed, and it's like the gerascophobia. It is kind of like, as I said, it's kind of like a misnomer, because like gerascophobia, a lot of people think it's fear of old people, and it's not, and I don't fear or hate old people, in fact, I love them, and as I say, it's just the idea of me getting older, and me sort of being perceived as older and looking what's considered older in our society. I have an idea of who I am inside, and to be honest, like, I haven't really emotionally matured. So I think that as well, like, there's several components to age, which is what a lot of people don't understand. When people make ageist comments, they don't really understand that there's chronological age, which means like how long you've been on this earth, which obviously you can't change, and you can't turn back the clock. But then there's emotional age, there's biological age, there's obviously mental age. So I mean, those three things are often separate to chronological age. People don't understand that a lot of the time, I think, and a lot of people don't understand gerascophobia, and when people make ageist comments, which is quite common these days, it does trigger me. And I think, like, now in the 2020s, ageism is taken about as seriously as sexism was in the 1970s. In fact, probably even less so. I mean, like, it's fashionable to make ageist jokes. It's fashionable to go on about boomers and, sort of millennials as well, looking at it from the other end of the coin, the other side of the coin. It's just, it's very, like, at the moment, people are quite sort of polarized and stuff, and they generalize a lot as well, particularly on Twitter and the internet. And people joke about stuff, but it's really hard when it, like, impacts. People don't realise, or maybe they do realise, how badly it impacts on people with gerascophobia if they want to bully them. So so that's kind of partly what I wanted to talk about with regard to Mental Health Week. It's people have this kind of fetish as well for, like, revealing other people's ages. If you don't want to tell somebody your age, then they do their damnedest to actually find out what your age is, and then some of them just, like, broadcast it everywhere, and actually that's very, very damaging for people like me. That really, 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 actually, like, that's the equivalent of somebody outing me as trans and just going around saying, well, Katie's a man, That's, to me, that's the same feelings, but it's even worse because at the moment, there's no kind of, like, gerascophobia sort of, like, community around. So it is difficult. It's just, there's nobody to turn to. And that's one of the reasons I've been getting so upset. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but it's I won't go into it too much at this stage. But yeah, so there's that. And also, more good news. So let's switch to good news. I've been invited to the British LGBT Awards in London next month. So that's through work. There's 10 of us going. One of our colleagues has been shortlisted for the award, which is brilliant, So so I've already decided which dress I'm going to wear. I'm going to be staying overnight in Cardiff as well. You know, it's brilliant. Work paid for it, which is great. We're paying for it. I've got the dress I'm going to wear. I'm going to wear this nice green, emerald green Hell Bunny dress with a kind of like sailor type collar and a little black line and a little bow in the front, which is really nice. And it doesn't reveal as well, it's not too low cut because I don't have any cleavage at the moment because I'm still a growing girl. So, you know, I don't have any boobage. So I've got a little bit, I've got a cut, but I mean, obviously I need to kind of supplement that. So I don't want those parts of my body really that visible and at the moment. And so, yeah, so that's good. But I don't know which shoes I'm going to wear, because I have a problem with shoes. I have like on my right foot, just above my big toe, I have a great big bump, which I think is a bunion. So whenever I try, shoes on the left foot always fine, you know. I mean, I probably couldn't walk in really high heels, but I can have a shoe that's got a bit of a heel on it, you know, on my left foot. But on my right foot is a different story, because the actual sort of toe of the shoe, where the rim is of the shoe, sometimes if you have like a court shoe, for instance, it will rub against that and it will be really painful for me. So that's probably another procedure I've got kind of lined up, you know, in the pipeline, is to have that done, kind of shaved down a bit, so I can actually wear shoes, or I can actually, you know, wear shoes on my right foot. You know, I do wear shoes, but now it's either trainers or it's either pumps or something like that. There's no kind of like nothing in between. And obviously, like going to a function like that, I could wear trainers. I don't know, I couldn't really wear trainers. I mean, probably somebody like Lily Allen could get away with it, you know, but I don't think like, you know, people are going to be looking at me if I'm wearing trainers. So, and also like I can't really wear like my flats, maybe not, you know, they just won't go with a dress. So yeah. Anyway, so exciting, yay. So, yeah, so I can't really think of any other news, really, apart from that. Like I say, you know, it has been hard going, like this year so far, it's been hard going, for a number of reasons. That's why I haven't made a lot of videos in the last month or so, because things kind of blew up at the beginning of March. Again, I won't go into what happened, but it's part of an ongoing thing. So it's been difficult. I keep on hoping that I'm out of the woods, you know, and things are going to get better, but I don't want to say that, because I hope that I was out of the woods at the end of last year and then everything kind of went back to square one again and got even worse in March. So, yeah, it's not easy. And think of what else I was going to say. What's been going on in the news? Well, I think I've spoken about the government not including trans people in the conversion therapy ban, which is absolutely disgusting. You know, it's like a kind of way for Boris Johnson to ingratiate himself to the kind of UKIP and far-right types who voted him in, because in a way for him to draw attention away from Partygate and from the absolute mess of things that he's making, you know. I mean, he still hasn't resigned, you know, he's an absolute rogue, he still hasn't resigned. And I just think, you know, so many cabinet ministers as well, it's not just him, but so many Tory cabinet ministers have come out with really transphobic statements, really actually blatantly transphobic statements and you can tell what they're doing. They're trying to kind of ingratiate themselves with the far right again, which is absolutely disgusting, you know. I mean, it's really frightening, to be honest. It's frightening what's going on in the world now, you know. I mean, like, for instance, Scott Morrison in Australia. I mean, I think he's the Prime Minister of Australia, another blatantly transphobic person. What's going on in Alabama, you know, with like in some American states, with sort of trying to push back the clock on trans reform or even not progress it at all, you know. It's frightening, you know. And a lot of it seems to be in the kind of like English speaking world as well, you know, the kind of Western world, and like also Eastern Europe as well, but I mean, like it's sort of strange, like on the continent, like I say on the continent, like France, Germany, particularly Scandinavia, there doesn't seem to be any of this sort of transphobic panic, you know. There doesn't seem to be any of this trans panic there. They have self-ID in a lot of these countries. They have kind of like gender neutral toilet facilities are common in a lot of Scandinavian countries as well. Guess what? The world hasn't gone to hell in a handcart. In fact, they're doing way better than us, you know, in a lot of cases. It's just, yeah, I don't know what the problem is, particularly with the UK, why we've become TERF Island. I think it's like the British establishment, particularly the English establishment, has been always historically transphobic, you know, particularly the press. And it's kind of like the press amplifying the voices of a fringe minority of transphobic bigots that's actually kind of and also giving out misinformation, malicious misinformation on a consistent and long-term basis that's kind of you know, creating this atmosphere. I mean, when I went out on Friday, everybody was great, you know, like nobody like said anything transphobic to us. It's kind of like people are like really supportive, you know, and it's like good on you, you know, and everybody kind of knows what it's like to be different to a certain extent, you know, and they kind of admire trans people in the way like a lot of us have kind of overcome difficulties early on in life and sort of like pulled ourselves up, and like they admire us struggling against all the depression that we experience and all the kind of knockbacks we get from society as well. So people, you know, in the UK, particularly in Wales, like they're kind of like fair play, you know, okay, you know, like she's, you know, they, like in my case, you know, she's sort of like tried, you know, she's trying, you know, and I've never had any kind of comments in like women's toilets or anything from anyone. Mind you, I like I think a lot of people don't realise I'm trans. Like when they hear my voice, like they kind of like know I'm trans then, but it's like, yeah. But no, I mean, I've spoken, I had conversations with like women, you know, in like when we're kind of like at the mirrors and stuff, like, you know, just chit chat and fine, you know, like they just accept me as a sister, and yeah, and I've noticed a lot of my, you know, trans friends as well, they've don't have any problems, you know, but it is the media and the areas of the establishment like politics and the like the political class and the kind of elements of the judiciary and that kind of thing, you know. So yeah, so anyway, I've rambled on a bit here and I've talked a bit about stuff that I didn't really want to talk about, and so I apologise for that. So please do let me know what your thoughts are on the things I've talked about in this video, you know, whether it's gerascophobia or mental health or you know, trans rights and stuff in the UK, and like any experiences you've had using women's toilets, for instance, if you're a trans woman, or using men's toilets if you're a trans man, or accessing toilet facilities if you're non-binary. You know, please do let me know, and like cis people as well, let me know if you've been kind of misgendered in the toilets or told that you can't use them because people have misgendered you, because that goes on as well. That goes on a lot more than people actually kind of realise, you know, than society realises, and in particular, like that goes on more than the TERF narrative is prepared to admit, you know. So yeah. So anyway, take care everyone, and thank you for watching my video again, and I love you all, so cheerio, bye.